Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the greatest black wrestling podcast that has no sponsorships, no promotion, no marketing dollars, but here we are. Another episode of the illustrious Kayfabe Cowboys podcast. I'm G.A. Brown, aka the Gorgeous One. The man who always does the intro and never finishes the match. It's me. The only other person on the screen right now you're going to see tonight is the mixologist, wrestling historian, and the person that pisses me off quite frequently on the daily. Brother Nick, say what's up to the folks.
So wait, you said that you don't finish the matches, so that's why you're a Cowboys fan, because they don't finish the games either, right? Okay, sorry. What's going on, people? Listen.
Rise up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm in the lead in my division right now.
Yeah,
So,
go
okay,
go for it.
let's just leave that there, sir.
Third cousins? All right.
Today, you call me carrying legend because I am bringing anarchy. I'm determined to break up families. I am determined to start arguments. I'm determined to have people talking about me later, whether it's in this group, our group chat, or after they finish watching this episode.
Right. Yo, so it's dope that you said something about, you said carrying legend. So I'd imagine that's a carrying cross reference.
It is very much so.
So I'd imagine what has happened is the third member of our party probably got abducted by the Wyatts. So he's not here tonight. So we're going to have to probably employ Karrion Kross or the Miz to try to track him down so we can get him back. Because we miss Brother Shadrick. So I hope that he's well. I don't know where he is. He's located in parts unknown. So I hope he's okay.
Well, here's the thing. If the Wyatt Six got him, that means he did something wrong. He left family.
Yeah,
That
he
could
did.
be, yeah.
He did.
I mean,
Yeah,
if he dies, he
yeah.
dies.
Hey, if he dies, he dies.
Just saying. Just saying. Hey,
Brett, like I said before, if he dies, he dies. Brett screwed Brett. Die, Rocky, die.
that is correct.
All right. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna try to do my best Rashad Lamont Harrison impersonation. So hold on. I gotta be shot. So
I wish I could see that. I can't see my screen this time, guys. I'm trying a new way of filming, but I wish I could see this. Do I need to get sultry?
So I have an icebreaker question for the night. So my icebreaker is, who would be your top 3 tag teams of all time?
Ooh, so you decided to cause anarchy because you know that there is no right answer to this, right?
There is a right answer, and it's going to be my answers. But
Okay.
you know what I mean? You can, in no particular order, you'll give the 3 that you believe are your best, and then I give the 3 that are my best, and we can have a friendly dialogue.
No, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it a different way.
Okay. All right.
I first of all, I want to go bar for bar, but I have, you said 3,
Okay.
right?
Oh, that's all right. So we're gonna go back and forth. We're going back and forth.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I mean, when you say top 3, it's got to be a particular order. But I've got a caveat because my third one is I got like a fourth, so you have to bear with me. So like 3 and 3A for me, the top 3-ish tag teams for me would have to start with the Rock and Sock connection. There's just something about the silliness of Mankind and the annoyance of the Rock, but when you put them in the match together, who's really beating them? That's like
So
my 3A.
that's your 3A.
That's my
All
3A.
right. Okay, so we got a 3A and a 3, and then we're gonna go
Right.
2-1.
Right.
All right. So my 3A is the Rockers.
Okay.
Without the Rockers, we don't get the heel turn that spawned Shawn Michaels into HBK.
Okay, you're cheating now, guy. Okay, we get all right. So are you only saying the Rockers because it gave us Michaels?
No. I'm saying the Rockers because of their work, but also from what we end up getting.
Okay. All right. That's what we're doing. All right. Gorgeous one. My 3 would be 2 Dudes with Attitude. Now, when we talk about the Rockers and what it gave us, you gave us the greatest in-ring performer of all times and a guy whose gimmick failed 14 times until he got with him.
You talking about
Then
Marty Jannetty?
no, I'm talking about Big Daddy Cool, Vinny Vegas. I'm talking about two dudes with attitude who,
I thought you were talking about like the pairing of Shawn Michaels when you were talking about I Said the Rockers. Okay, all
yeah,
right.
yeah, because that Shawn Michaels led us to this Shawn Michaels who brought a valet that was 7 feet tall that you didn't want to mess with slick back hair, and I did he have one or two leather gloves, but either way, it brought us Big Daddy Cool Diesel. So that would be my three.
Okay, all right. So your three had the valet that came from Oz. Got it.
And Vegas. That is correct.
All right. So my three is the Usos.
That unless you were about to appease, you know what? I know exactly what you're about to do. Okay, fine. So this is in order. Your three. Okay.
Yep. Huh.
My number two. Damn it! It just changed. My number two. Now I'm gonna leave it as. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Harlem Heat
Okay.
showed me that we could be successful in the ring. Now, granted, there were other successful black people in the ring prior to them, but two brothers who I think they legit are, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they are. They
Yeah,
are. They're
legit
legit
brothers,
brothers. They're
not
shoot
like
brothers. Yeah.
yeah, not like others tag teams. I won't name any because you may name them later. Two brothers. You always gonna have one that shines a little bit brighter than the other, but they came
Mm-hmm.
in and he said, "You're not gonna mess with my brother. You ain't gonna mess with my brother, and we gonna
That's
get
right.
gold." And
That's right.
I'm still pissed off because of Sting's punk ass, and he took them winning the championship away from the NWO. He took that moment away from Harlem Heat, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
There will be no Sting slander tolerated tonight.
Okay,
So that was your two.
that was my two.
All right. My two, the boys that went to Michigan, the Steiner brothers. Big Papa Pump and the dog faced gremlin, the Steiner brothers are my number two. Tag team of all time. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Let's go. Frankensteiner, Steiner line, belly to back. They were Suplex City before Suplex City was ever erected. The Steiner brothers. Let's go.
This has been another episode of the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast. I appreciate everyone coming. The Steiner.
Yes.
Okay, you know
Yes.
what?
The Steiners at two.
I understand it, and I will respect. How old folks say, if you like it, I love it.
That's right. And I love it.
Okay.
And I love it.
My number one has got to be Jimmy and Jay. The Ooh So's. Now come on now, let's be serious.
They do have the longest tag team title reign in history. I ain't mad at it.
And do
I
you
ain't mad at it.
remember where they came from? They came out dancing in colorful paint and big ass pants and
Mm-hmm.
missing the timing on their triple moonsault on their first debut to being, as Jay says, bet you can tell us apart now. They have become individual characters while both still being important, unlike that last group that you just named, where I forgot about the other one until WWE 2K24 came on.
No, don't do that. Don't
I
do
just
that.
remember Big Papa Pump and all the steroids and that other dude he was with.
Hey man, don't do that.
I'm just
Don't do
saying
that.
that
Don't we
that you know.
hey, because without the other dudes you're talking about, we don't have one of the greatest uprising talents in WWE right now.
So again, he's on the list because of what he provided. Got you.
But also like he did his thing, but he also contributed to the business after he left. So that's what we're getting. All
But
right.
okay, I'm a you yes sir.
Hey,
He didn't do nothing by himself though. But okay,
all I want is respect. All I
yes,
want is respect.
all right, Aretha.
All right. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me.
I'm about to find out when I know exactly what you're about to say. Who?
And who, who? And my number one tag team is all I gotta say is what a rush.
Did
The Legion of Doom, the
you can't
Road Warriors,
just
Hawk and Animal are the greatest tag team of all time. Hands down, there's a reason why when somebody goes into an arena and the crowd goes crazy, they call it Road Warrior Pop. LOD, number one tag team of all time. Don't fight me, fight your mother.
I can't. She's old. But here's the thing. I agree that they are legendary
Hmm.
and they revolutionized the tag team division. I get it. I'll leave it there. I get it. I respect that because that sound, you heard that. It was definitely a rush. I get it.
Woo, give me goosebumps. I feel like The Rock. Like,
I just hate how they bastardized them later down the road.
yeah, they tried to stretch the gimmick, even you know what I mean, like prayers up the draws, but they had to
Right.
bring draws in, and I get it. You know what I mean. Rest in peace, Hulk.
Right. So I take all of that into consideration. I know what you're saying. I just
Hmm.
take all of that into consideration when I go, well, I mean,
But you know why? You know why they had to do that though, right?
okay, why is that?
Because what I mean, because Hulk was battling his demons of
Of
addiction and
addiction and
and things of that nature, and they had to bring somebody else into the fold because like he was a little bit, they couldn't rely on him. So Animal was still Animal.
true.
You know what I mean? But
For me,
LOD when that music hit, like they were still selling merch even when Hulk was at the height of his demons. You know what I mean?
I agree. For me, it just reminds me of Julio Jones in the Tennessee Titans uniform. It just don't feel right. That's all I'm saying. I
I get it.
understand and I agree. And that is a very, very good choice.
Okay. All right.
Not better than
So
Newso's, but it's
all
a
right,
very
all
good
right.
choice.
Yeah, so what I mean, editor note, each one of us need to do our own individual post. And what I mean, you record it and post it like we done before. You know what I mean? Editor note. So hey Parks, take that out of the podcast. All right. So
I feel like he gonna leave it in there. He ain't gonna watch. He ain't gonna watch this.
he
He
ain't,
not
he
gonna pay
ain't,
attention. He's
he ain't,
not
he ain't gonna
hearing
watch
this.
it.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey, what we just did was, what I'm saying, we broke the fourth wall. We pulled back the curtain so people know that there's like, there's people that have to do things outside of
Did
this
we just break
podcast.
kayfabe? Is that what just happened?
We broke kayfabe. We
Wow.
broke kayfabe.
Okay. Which one of us gonna be Triple H then? Because I ain't getting in trouble.
Hey man, hey, it is what it is, man. Hey, I'm like the manager that used to manage the primetime players, man.
Okay. All right. You got time
Yeah.
today.
Hey,
You
you remember when he made that Kobe joke and got fired instantly?
immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you know what, you're not gonna trigger me.
Immediately. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, what happened this weekend was one of the big four. Everybody knows that Survivor Series, aka War Games, was something that happened, and we are about to dive into the fallout of the events that were. So, Brother Legend, your thoughts on the pay per view
As a
overall,
overall,
as a whole, overall, what you think about the pay per view?
C minus.
C minus.
Minus. And that's because the men's match was just that good.
Yeah, the men's match was phenomenal.
I heard this on another podcast, really good podcast. I don't need everything to be a War Games match to be a Survivor Series.
Mm,
I
yeah.
say that because the women's match was not great.
It wasn't any heat. They didn't need to go to war.
They didn't need to go to war, and that's why I said that would have been great. Like, and again, I'm referencing the information, so this isn't a legend idea. That would have been a better 5-on-5 elimination style match.
Traditional Survivor Series match.
Traditional
Yep.
Survivor Series match. Much better. There was no heat. There were a lot of, I guess we're told not to use the word botches by Chris Jericho because it's live entertainment and things go wrong. So we won't
Mm-hmm.
use the word botches, but there were several miscues.
Yeah.
The chair shots from Nia Jax were Hulk Hoganish.
Yeah. They were.
A lot of people,
They left a lot to be desired.
a
Yeah.
lot of people missed Tiffany Stratton jumping off the top of the cage because Io Sky did it better.
Io Sky always does it better.
Always does it better. But also, I'm again referencing. I get sick of, and we already know it's scripted, but I get sick of watching people gather and take forever to
Mm,
catch a person.
yeah.
That gets a little bit annoying, and I get it. It's for the show, but like, come on, bro. It just so that happened a couple times in the women's match. It just wasn't great.
Okay. All right. All right. So because we're gonna dive into this, because we're gonna go in order. We're gonna dive into this women's match. So I'm gonna give my grade, and then we can continue. So
Yep.
I'm gonna just because of I liked a lot of things at this event.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give it a B minus. I'm gonna give it a B minus.
You must be going to the Netflix taping and you want to make sure you still got friends. A B
I'm
minus
I'm gonna give it a B
for the
minus
whole show.
for the whole show. B minus.
Okay. All right. Tell me how you
All
feel
right,
about the women's match real quick. So,
all
because
right.
I got to know
So
this.
all right. So women's match. I wasn't in love with it. It started like if they could have sequenced like if they could have done a different sequencing on when people came into the ring, I think we would have been better served. I don't think it was a good spot for Nia to be one, just because like that's not her strong suit, being in a match like that. Where it's like weapons, like if you think about it, like she never uses weapons. She just needs to wreak havoc and cause mayhem and things of that nature. But
Because she's too strong, so she pulls back.
right. Yeah, and she's haunted by the fact that people have always said that she's unsafe and she hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that was a good spot for her. But all that being said, I do think the match picked up. Things got better.
Mm-hmm.
The spot of not even the spot of EO doing the moonsault with the trash can.
Fire.
The spot of EO entering the match by carrying her trash can up to the top and setting it up like, yo, I'm gonna put this up here because
I'll be back for you.
you motherfuckers know I'm coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that Tiffany Stratton had a trash can that had her money in the bank briefcase in it was dope storytelling. Like I mean, because
You not tired of that yet?
not necessarily saying it was dope storytelling, but it was like, okay, she found a creative way to get her briefcase in the match.
Right, but you not tired of them teasing that?
I'm tired of it.
Okay.
But if you're gonna do some repetitive shit, at least do it in a different way. It was dope that she actually got the briefcase into the match.
I like that part. I'm just saying where you stand over it, somebody interrupts you.
Yeah, like, all right, nigga, pull the trigger. But be that as it may, I loved the fact that we finally got, we got to see Rhea get her hands on Liv and in the fashion that she did it and the safe way that she did it, because I saw another angle of her hitting hitting her finisher through the table.
Yep.
What's her shit called? Is it the Riptide?
Riptide, yeah.
She hit Liv with the riptide through the table and did it in a safe way. She
Yep.
broke the table with her knee.
With her
Like
knees. Yep.
I love that. I love that. All the ladies look strong in the joint. You know what I mean, to a certain degree. But for me, even though it was an amazing spot, MVP of that match for me is Candice LeRae.
You know what? I can't even hate on that because she's the War Games veteran outside of
Mm-hmm.
She carried her own. Her makeup was very well done. I just want to throw that out there. That's
Yeah.
one of the things
Mm-hmm.
I caught on to.
Yeah, Mrs. Gargano did look pretty good.
Yeah, she definitely she didn't seem like she did not belong. There were
Mm-hmm.
others who you're right. I will say the MVP was EO and Bianca Belair's outfit. Just because it was pink and black in Canada, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, the heart reference. I
Yeah.
dig. I dig. I dig.
And then the moment of the match for me though, outside of that mask, was when she took it off and was like, "Come get it," Rhea. That
Mm-hmm.
is. That was like, oh, is she healthy? Is she not? Or she don't care? But I want to throw this out there. I called it. Rhea got the pin.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. Hey, man. Hey, when you're right, you're right. All right. So next up, which was this match right here is why I watch wrestling. It's why I love doing what we do, because they suspended my disbelief and they pulled the trigger on something that I didn't think they were going to do. I thought, the fan in me is like, he constantly gets fucked over. But
Oh, you
let's
missed that.
let's talk about the entrance though.
No, no, no,
Shit.
no, no. We got to talk about the Friday entrance first. There was a different music. The music on Friday was
Yeah,
fire.
bro. Yes. And they gave him some bomb ass music on TV.
Duh.
And then the PLE, they've remixed that shit and made it even harder. What?
I said to you when he walked out with that ninja helmet,
That samurai shit?
I said, "Oh,
You
he's
did say
winning.
that. Yeah.
He's winning." I don't
And
know how they kept him dark the whole time.
yeah, because you
Hey,
talked about that. Like the fact that they kept him backlit for so long and he was
so
just a black figure. What, man, like this presentation of Shinsuke Nakamura
it's gonna be dangerous.
is crazy.
But
And I think they're going to be making an effort to right the wrong of what Vince did to him when he let him win the Royal Rumble and then they just shit on him after that.
I've got a twofold thought on that, but I do want to say this because it references later. Shinsuke's dark entrance is how it should be done. I need Damien to never do a dark entrance again because it looks stupid. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Damien's entrance probably needs to change because he's not a, you know, what I mean, he's not a heel anymore.
Yeah, it just looked like a weird figure. But
Mm-hmm.
let's go
Yeah,
back to the Shinsuke
but
match because
but
that was amazing. You
like
that was go ahead.
the way that they've presented Shinsuke Nakamura since his return, he's more villainous. He seems more dangerous. He seems like he really knows exactly what he wants to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna execute the shit that I want to do. Like that shit was fantastic. The match was good. LA Knight is very good. He's very good in the ring for what he does. He can put on a good match. He's put on good matches with damn near everybody that he's been in the ring with.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they actually pulled the trigger and allowed Shinsuke to go over and take the title off of LA Knight, like kudos
Clean.
for clean. For that, I give that match a B plus. Just because of that. Because the ending matched what everybody wanted to happen.
So I forgot. There was something before the Kinshasa. What happened to LA Knight? Did he run into something? I forget.
The turnbuckle.
Turnbuckle. Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I can remember that, I can speak to
Yeah,
the
the
match.
exposed turnbuckle, I believe.
Yeah, he walked in, and I said, "This is a different Shinsuke." Remind me when I finish this to go into my twofold.
All right, I'm writing that down. Go ahead.
I was like, "Yo, this dude is dangerous." And when LA Knight walked out, I said, "He's losing for multiple reasons. He didn't have the same energy to me." And LA does this thing where when he's
He
got his
dropped he dropped he dropped the belt.
he dropped the belt. He didn't get his foot up on the where he goes up on top of the ring. That was off. So immediately I said to myself, he's rattled because he's losing his championship. Then he does that thing where he tries to be like jumping on the top rope, like Braun does,
Mm-hmm.
to do that move,
The suplex.
the suplex. He's missed that like 10 times in the past 2 months. And I don't know. I get the ropes are slippery. I know he's a little bit older in general, so maybe you just don't hop up that high. But that needs to go. Sidebar, that needs to go. The match was great. The finish, though, where it was like, did he pull off the turnbuckle? Was he falling and grabbed something? I loved it because you couldn't say for a fact he did that on purpose. But I do love that it was a clean pin. There was no mist. There was no help. There was none of that. And especially because he'd only been back 2 or 3 times, had one match and won the championship. I'm with you. A solid B. I was very shocked. Solid B.
These are the type of moments that define people's like characters and their runs. Like if you think about if they gave Shinsuke this brand new presentation, he's this dark, mysterious, dangerous looking villain, and he comes out and loses. That discredits everything that they were trying to do with this entire new presentation.
Right.
So the fact that they were able to give him a win that he needed,
He
like
needed, definitely needed.
he needed this. Like LA Knight's gonna be fine because LA Knight's a fan favorite. Like LA Knight doesn't need the title to be LA Knight. He's gonna sell merch. He's gonna get a pop. The crowd's they're gonna say LA Knight. Yeah, they're always gonna do that. Shinsuke needed this win, and I'm so happy they pulled the trigger. Just like my wife told you when you was over here watching the show that like Shinsuke's theme used to be my alarm clock. Like that used to be the alarm that went off in the morning. Like you know what I mean? Like, I am a huge Shinsuke Nakamura fan. And the fact that his entire character arc has gotten us here, I love it, man. And to me, he could hold the US title until next year at Survivor Series for all I care.
Which I think he will because somebody slipped up. One of the announcers slipped up and said something about his reign lasting for a year. I don't know if you caught that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I heard it.
And it was like, were you
Mm-hmm.
supposed to say that or was that? So that was part one of my, he needed this because he needed that win because he had been losing consistently back to back before he
Mm-hmm.
left in April, which is crazy. The other thing that I saw online is that Triple H is trying to build that Japanese pipeline or that Asian pipeline. So I'm going to try to
Mm-hmm.
encompass everyone
Yep.
to the WWE, and the way to do so is to give them a championship.
You got to build them strong.
Right. So you say, hey, when you come here, you can be that person. You can be the next whatever that looks like, and where it doesn't, I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be tied to race, but when you see yourself as a champion, you go, I can go there and be successful. So that was what I'd read online, that it was, that may
Yeah.
have had something to do with it as well. Dope match.
Bruh, man, I can't wait until Friday. Like, and I think one thing that's probably gonna happen with his title reign, it's gonna be one of those things where he's gonna pull the shit where he's like, I don't want to fight you tonight. You know what I mean? Like, people will call him out. He'll walk out to the ring. He might actually show up for a title match and get to the ring and just be like,
And get
"Nah, I
counted
don't want.
out.
I'm not gonna fight you tonight," and walk off.
Oh yeah, because you got to build that heat. You got to build that
Yeah,
heat.
you got to make people hate him. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I can never hate Shinsuke Nakamura, but it. You know what I mean? Aside from me being the president of the BFAB fan club, I'm the president of the Shinsuke Nakamura fan club as well. So, hey, hey, it is what it is, man. All right, twofold,
I call her Plan
twofold,
B.
twofold.
That was
You
it.
said twofold.
Yeah, that
Hey, all
one
right.
was that he needed it because they had ruined his character previously, and I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
they changed his outfit because that was needed as well. But
Mm-hmm.
two was that pipeline, the Asian pipeline. So those were the two reasons why, the twofold reasons.
Okay. All right. So next up, we had the IC title triple threat with Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. What were your thoughts on that?
So I will admit, I went in hating this match. I knew during the promo, I want to say it was pre-show, where Braun said, "What? I'm just supposed to give him the title because he hasn't been Intercontinental Champion. I play for the
Mm-hmm.
Ravens. If they win a Super Bowl, I'm not gonna get a ring." I knew at that moment Sheamus wasn't winning. That promo was too real. I did, however, think that Ludwig could have pulled it off and potentially should have pulled it off, but that was tied to other things for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The match had its ups and downs.
it did.
I will give it a C plus. Um, yeah, I'll leave it there.
I enjoyed this match. I think everybody looked strong in this match. Everybody got their shit in.
Mhm.
Everybody got their time. I love this new presentation of Ludwig Kaiser.
Yes,
Like just being ruthless and actually being able to stand alone away from Gunther.
correct.
He's not just the henchman anymore. Like, he's Ludwig Kaiser. You know what I'm saying? He's not the announcer for the ring general. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
I
yeah.
do I do miss that shit. Like, I need to get that back.
You,
And the
you
way
can't
that
have both.
the way that he would catch the jacket and twirl that shit, fire. But as much as I wanted him to get that IC title reign, because I picked him to
Mhm.
win, and I'd imagine at some point or another, Sheamus is going to win the IC title to be a triple, to be a to win the what's the shit called? It's not the
Grand
Triple
Slam.
Crown, the Grand Slam, Grand Slam. He's gonna be a Grand Slam champion because he's a certified first ballot WWE Hall of Famer, so he's gonna get an IC title reign.
But he's not going to beat Brain Fart.
Braun Breaker.
He's not going to beat Braun Baker.
I think they're gonna they're gonna build Braun Breaker to the point to where it would make sense for the title to come off of him because he can go into the bigger title picture.
Right.
So until they have something bigger for Braun Breaker to do title wise, it doesn't make sense to take the belt off of him just yet, unless he gets into a feud with somebody and they go back and forth, and then he ends up losing it within that feud. Maybe it could be the Sheamus thing, or Sheamus could have something to say like, "Yo, like, you only beat me because Kaiser was in this match." So there's so I think they pause, but they left some meat on the bone for us to be able to to revisit this, have another meal, and possibly come out with a different outcome. But I love that match. I
So
love
you saying Jay is just out? He's done with the IC belt.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jay got for now, but he
Okay.
got a lot of other things he got to contend with right now, like because his family story is piping hot right now. All right, next up is something we ain't really got to spend a lot of time on: the Ring General and the Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest. What you got?
I'm over. I'm over Priest losing, and I mean that in the best way possible. I would have loved him to get the title back because I don't know what Gunther's run is doing, but I'm sick of the interference. I need that storyline with Finn to be over. So when that took place, it pissed me off, but it also helped build Gunther as a face. And I'm telling you, that's coming. The way he kicked Finn, because you typically don't do heel on heel,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of foreshadowing. facing the Judgment Day. It was another heel on heel. So, I feel like they're building Gunther as a face, an attempted face, or maybe like the anti-hero, the Seth
Hmm.
Rollins type of champion where he's not a
Yeah.
good guy or a bad guy. But I don't like the storyline. So,
But I think Gunther stayed true to the core of who he is. Like the mat is sacred. Like I don't need you to cheat for me to win. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't want your help. You know what I mean? You not lose it. You ain't my man's. Like you ain't got to come out here and do some shit for me to win.
but
So
I don't know what that story. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't know what that leads to because all you're gonna have is Gunther versus Finn, and now Damien's gonna interfere. It's just gonna go back and forth. I also hated that injury in the match started so early that it became a thing where he couldn't do his finisher over and over, but he kept
mhm.
trying. It just, I don't know.
But for real, what I think could be a cool move to pull would be all right, Finn and you know what I mean, like Priest cost Finn. Finn
We know that's
cost
gonna happen.
Priest. Hey, all right. At some point or another, you gotta call it fair is fair, even is even. They gotta have a match, a blow off match in this fucking feud. But I think Finn Balor is gonna be the one to take the title off of Gunther. Cause if we're looking at things in the past and we're righting wrongs, Finn Balor was the first ever Universal Champion. Got
Yep.
hurt in the match, and he
24
never
hours.
never got close to it again. I think Trips is righting the wrongs of the past. And Finn Balor needs something to refresh his character. Like he's been the I don't even know the name of the tags, the Raw tag. He's been the Raw tag team champion for shit since last Christmas. I don't fucking know how long it's been.
Been
And they
three
haven't
title
defended
defenses.
they ain't defended the title. Like it's just a placeholder. Like they're holding the title on their shoulder. Like
Absolutely no storyline with that. Correct.
excuse me. So something has to happen with that soon. I need Finn Balor to come back and be cool ass Finn Balor. Like get away from Judgment Day. I need him to be the cool ass nigga to come out in the leather coat, pops his collar, like gets the crowd up when he opens his own. Give
Hmm.
me that Finn Balor back. Even when he was heel Finn Balor with that presentation, he was bad. He was a badass. So
Yeah.
I'm
And he
hoping
and he
that's
signed a long-term contract, so you got to give him something.
and you could see that there's starting to be dissension within Judgment Day anyway, which tells me that we're leading towards a split.
So I was going to wait for that, but since we're here, how do you see that split going? Because obviously you have the tag team champions. So if they break up, they're still quote unquote boys. And they ride together, they die together.
Hmm.
Dom, they're obviously going to be pushing him for main events very, very soon.
Hey, he is the best wrestler in the world.
Dom is that guy. So it's like, you maybe need to start looking at putting a belt on Dom at some point. When that breakup happens, how do you see it taking place?
Without taking too long, I see it being something where it's going to boil down to Liv and Dom's romance
Okay.
because Liv is still head over heels over Dom.
Hmm.
Dame, for whatever reason, Finn got some shit with Dom right now. I think it's gonna come to a head based off of that. I don't know if it's gonna be Finn turning on him or Dom turning on him, but I could see it being something where the Judgment Day helps Finn win the title.
And he goes on that
And
power trip that he accused Damien of.
no,
No?
not even that. I see Judgment Day helping him win the title, and then I see Dom costing Finn the belt, or you know what I mean, or like blindsiding him or some shit like that, and then he ends up taking the belt off of Finn.
Hey,
Now,
and you
now,
cooking.
because Gunther doesn't like. I think Gunther losing the belt to Dom would be a bad look, but Gunther losing the belt to Finn wouldn't be a bad look because Finn is established. He's like he's one of the best in the world. Like when he's actually cooking, and then Dom taking the belt off of Finn due to the Judgment split doesn't make Finn look bad. People are gonna hate Dominic Mysterio as a champion, and then you get that presentation back of the Finn that I was talking about, where he's the face Finn. The crowd is behind him now because they hate Dominic Mysterio's guts, and then he takes the belt back off of Dom or some shit like that. That's
Okay.
how I see that playing out.
I don't have a play out, but I love that one. I just want to say that they were actually cheering for Dom on Monday, which was super weird. Okay. So I guess that leaves only one match that we haven't discussed.
the most whatever the fuck it was, the men's war game match, the OG Bloodline plus Charles Malik Punk versus Bloodline 2.0 with the addition of Big Bronson Reed. Nick, what say you about the men's war games match?
I just randomly thought about something and I got to go back to
Okay.
real quick. The women brought out too many weapons. Okay, had to finish that.
Okay.
The men's war game match. I love how they started. Tamatonga entering the ring, crawling across the ropes. Hilarious.
No, he's amazing.
His character arc from somebody you legit hated to somebody you're like, I don't mind this guy.
He's a fan favorite.
I agree. I love that Jay and everybody had their own interests. So I love that Jay didn't
Mhm.
come down the aisle because, like Michael Cole said, they are all equals. I love that he started the match to kind of atone for it. The changes that took place after that with who came next was amazing.
Great storytelling.
Great storytelling. Punk trying to get out, Roman stopping him, all of those things. And I'm just trying to get to the meat and potatoes of it. I think
Even the off script moment of Punk mushing who did he mush?
when that was off script.
Who did he
Big
mush?
Bronson Reed to get that
Yeah.
response.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do that when you're Punk. Like
Yeah.
it was great. It built hatred. It built a fire that maybe was missing because people was
Mm-hmm.
cheering.
Yeah.
And it just that was a moment. And just the animosity between the two of them. I hated how long it took for the bell to ring. They had to wait for Paul Heyman to say War Games before the bell actually rung. I'm pissed because if you could have cut the lock off the cage, why did Roman have to go over the top?
Hey man, like,
I've
cuz
never
dog,
seen Roman do a splash like that. It was just weird to me, but
it was interesting because it was
it was different.
now now let's get into the storytelling in that there was so many I mean the action in this match was phenomenal,
Phenomenal.
like from start to finish. Everybody, like, everybody got their shit in, everybody got their spot. So before I get into the subtle nuances of a lot of things that I noticed, kudos to Big Bronson Reed for his splash off the top of the cage, and I wish him a speedy recovery because like he fucked his ankle up.
If not both of them, right?
Yes, I think, but one of them joints I saw a video where it looked like that ankle just like buckled.
Yeah, that wasn't pretty to watch.
Yeah, so like, cause it sucks that it's happening to him now,
Yeah,
cause he's as hot as he's ever been.
he's white hot. Yeah,
But like, kudos to Bronson Reed.
he fit in that match perfectly. I
Yeah.
was mad about it being a 5-on-5. I didn't see a drop off.
And then Jimmy pulling out different moves in the bag, bro. Like,
Sorry.
what? What was that? The whisper in the wind off the top rope?
Jimmy did some things, and I was just like, "Oh, it's your wife's birthday. You showing out? Okay,
Yeah.
cool, got it."
And then the splash off the top of the cage, like he took all of that pause. Like,
Whoa,
yeah, like,
whoa.
yeah.
Hold on, but
Yeah.
in
Hopefully
that
that don't
moment,
get clipped and put in the promo, but yeah,
oh, I'm
whatever.
definitely gonna clip that. I don't care. In that moment, though, I said he's taking too long. So in that moment, it was like he got Bronson on the table. I mean Jacob on the table very gently to make sure it didn't break. Then there was like 6 other moves that took place. Then he got on the top of the cage. I was like, "Yo, what is happening here?" But he sacrificed his body to get that to knock Jacob out. Jacob selling that botch or that missed opportunity, genius. But that Bronson splash, my wife watched it and she said, "You can see Roman's ribs when he breathed." I was like, "First of all, why are you looking that close?" But
Hey man.
she said, if they would have missed that timing, Roman was screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. That was going, cause that's a dog, that's a lot of mass coming off
Yes,
the top of that cage, bro. Like,
you can't brace for that.
I don't care how many weights you lift. Like, what's Bronson? Were you like 330, so 350 or some shit like that?
At
Like,
least
you can't,
330.
it's hard to brace for that shit.
That's
You know
all
what I
type of
mean?
broken ribs.
Dog, like everything. Like, but kudos. Like, I'm glad that with the storytelling of Punk pulling him off,
Taking
pulling
the
Roman
spear,
off of the table after Roman like
accidentally,
saved him. Yeah, you know what I mean?
accidentally
It's
speared him.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It was dope storytelling. Now the subtle nuances that I picked up in this. Punk hitting the GTS before Roman hit the spear. Did you see Punk's demeanor after he hit it and he just leaned on the ropes and he just wasn't even like in it anymore?
No, I missed that.
So watch back. He hits the GTS, then he just leans on the ropes and he's just watching. Like almost as if to say, this is like, I only did that because this is my favor.
Hmm.
I'm doing this so Roman can look good.
Okay.
This is a part of the favor I'm doing.
Okay.
Another thing I picked up after the match is over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're celebrating in the ring and they going over the big up Punk. Jay checked on Solo. Just it happens really quick.
Okay.
Solo's laying on the ground because there's like with that portion of the story, they're still telling
Siblings.
the love you.
Yeah,
Because I think
my
that I
sibling,
want
my
to
little
say
brother.
I want to say they said it in the match. I think like when Roman was like extending his arms to hug Solo or whatever. I think Roman said, "I still love you." So it's so many layers to this shit that they're getting to very subtly. But what I really think is going to happen, we look back a few months ago when Roman first came back. Well, I think it might have been before Roman came back when Solo was just popping big shit about Roman,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the new tribal chief, and he told Tama Tonga, "Hey, if he takes this Ulafala from me,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be the tribal chief, and I have to follow him, and you do too." What is going to happen when Roman eventually beats Solo, takes the Ulafala? Now we have an entire different feud that's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
because Tama Tonga won't with that shit. If you look back at it,
I
it
remember
was
that.
like he won't with that shit.
Okay.
I don't all the way think Jacob's going to be with that shit.
And that's where I thought you were going, but I'm gonna let you finish.
So now you have another dynamic to this story that keeps it relevant and keeps those guys away from the title.
Okay.
Like, so they're going to allow people to be cooking in the title picture because the bloodline is always going, they got so many different layers to this shit. That's what's going to happen. Then we also got to think about whatever this favor is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like CM Punk has never main evented WrestleMania. Paul Heyman's going to have to pull some strings for
Mm-hmm.
Punk to main event WrestleMania. Whether it be something that, you know, that ties into what Roman has going on, something that ties into what Cody may have going on. CM Punk's going to main event one of them nights at WrestleMania in April.
He definitely is.
He's going to have to. So I'm big into, because the action is always going to be fire. Roman's going to be Roman in the ring. Jacob Fatu is going to be tearing shit up. Like, everybody involved in this is going to do their thing in the ring. Even Tonga Loa was good in this match.
I couldn't find a reason to hate him.
You know what I mean? So I'm just picking up the subtle nuances and, you know, the small details that's going to get us from this to the next, you know. So
how do you pick up the subtle nuances and not comment on Jay doing the handshake when
but
Jimmy?
yeah, while laying on the ground, like,
Like,
that was dope. That was dope.
hey,
That was dope.
that was the moment for me. He was like, they made up, but he was like, I'm part of it too. I thought that was super dope. But
Yeah.
because I don't want to dive into it because we don't have too much time left. I like what you're doing.
Well, we at 47 minutes, so we got
Okay.
about 13 minutes left.
When you said what happens when Solo loses and has to get back under the wing, right? To me, that's the perfect time for the final boss to come back with his enforcer, whoever that may be, because we know they just signed two more of them.
So I already know what I have a theory about what's going on with the other two. With
Okay.
Hikuleo and who is it? Is it Lance Anoa'i?
Yes, Lance, because the other one's still, yeah.
So I'm thinking more so with Hikuleo. If you've been watching on NXT, Ava got knocked over, right? She
Yep.
got knocked over by Eddie Thorpe,
Yep.
unintentionally or whatever.
Allegedly,
Shawn Michaels flipped out, and
as he
you know what I
should.
mean, as he should. And then last night on NXT, Eddie Thorpe was laid out in the locker room.
Yep. By who knows?
What better way for that to be the way that you debut one, or if not one, both of the new Samoans that have been signed.
But here's the thing. They were sent. They were
Yeah.
sent by the final
Yeah.
boss.
Because like, yo, all right. Storyline be damn. In a shoot real life, that's my daughter
That's my
that you
kid, bro.
knocked on the ground. That's my kid. You knocked
Yep.
my daughter on the ground, bro.
That's your
And
ass.
and I don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
So like we
And I
could
can't hit
get
you because you work for me.
yeah. So we could get Lance Anoa'i and Hikaleo's debut next week on NXT because they're telling this story week by week. So Ava got knocked over, then Eddie Thorpe got his ass whooped next week because
We'll find out who did it.
I don't see Hikaleo being a strong singles. I don't see Lance and Hawaii really being a strong singles, but you have them two debuting as a tag team.
Okay.
Like, all right, now you cooking with something. You know what I mean? So I think, but all right, but I ain't gonna dive. I don't want to dive too much into that, but bringing The Rock back to be the new head of the new bloodline.
Right.
Now Solo might have to follow
One or the other.
because he might have to follow Roman.
Right. Or he might have to submit to The Rock. Either way, we cooking with grease.
Yeah, but he comes back. I sent them down there because that nigga hit my daughter. Now Solo loses, has to follow Roman. Now The Rock comes back and like, all right, but they with me,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob and God. And then, all right, you want to even numbers out? Well, I got Lance Anoa'i and Hikaleo with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So it's so many things that can happen right now. And then we also still have to remember, at some point or another, Zilla Fatu is going to end up in WWE.
That's the one I'm waiting on. That's what I'm waiting on right there. Okay. But look, let me back up a little bit because what I forgot to say was they did all of this when they exited the match. Because here's what pissed me off. At the end of the War Games, what do the victors do? They climb on the top, they get their photo, they stand in the middle, they celebrate till we go off air. Well, I mean, granted, the other guys
Man, oh
couldn't
yeah, I know where you're going. I know
they
where you're
couldn't
going.
walk off in this particular instance because people was really screwed up. But you have them exit the cage, you have the camera following so closely. And if you caught it, Punk went to the back before all of them and came back out. They turn around, they do the little pose or whatever after he hugs Paul and whatever all that took place. Both of them, and I didn't like the way Roman caressed Paul. That was weird. But anyway, they get to the main stage, the entryway. They turn their backs, they do the pose, and then it goes off.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, everybody, was anticipating The Rock popping back up after them. I think it's a reason why they made it a point to say that The Rock is finished with everything, all of his responsibilities for Moana 2.
Right.
All right,
They're
they know what they're doing.
they're
They know what they're
playing with
doing.
us. They're Marvel Easter egging us, and I like it, but I don't because I'm sitting here like, well, why did we watch these men limp down the hallway, the ramp, for lack of a better term, because there's no ramps no more, to do a pose that they just did already, and nothing. I was pissed.
Yeah, I like to tease because they know what we wanted. You
Yes,
know what I mean? We know what we wanted.
I was as pissed at that moment as I got to throw this in real quick, as the person having a final question for EO and said, "Hey, when you go wrestle, are you gonna have people with you?" And she did. I'm in damage control. Like, what are we
Yeah,
doing? Okay, sorry, I had to
yeah.
throw that one in there.
But yeah, man, it's a lot that can happen with that. I think we get the Rock popping back up at Saturday night's main event.
You have to.
Uh
You
huh.
have to.
And damn, and yeah, go and like and I know we got like 7 minutes left, so I know we pressed for time. So like we could at another point we're gonna have to go into this this KO Cody thing, but we got time before that kicks off, and all I can say is KO is right. He's justified. Like
Okay.
Cody's a horrible person.
I'm not gonna give my opinion on that because I'm gonna go too long. Go ahead.
Lastly, you know what I mean, to get into it. All right, so we had a couple other things, but the bigger thing,
The biggest thing we got
pause.
left.
The bigger topic is the New Day turn.
Here's the thing. I watched
Oh
that
my
4 times. Let me tell you why. I don't watch Raw at 8 o'clock. I like to start at 9 so that I can skip through some of the commercials and BS matches that sometimes take place. My text went off from you. My text went off from my homeboy who's going to WrestleMania because he's rich. with a tear emoji came from him. I panicked. So I skipped up, caught up to it, and I watched the whole thing. Then I went back and watched them saying what they were about to do, and then they get interrupted. So we have no idea if the announcement that they made was the announcement they were going to make until E came
Mm-hmm.
out. I feel in my heart of hearts, E's been cleared.
Of course. Like, how is he gonna get in the ring and say, until I'm medically cleared? I paid attention to that. Until I'm medically cleared. Like, why would you make reference to that? Like, and also, I have a feeling that, like, let's say real life, right?
Mhm.
Let's say me and you, we've been at odds, but we respect everything that we've done. So we're gonna split amicably before we sully the reputation of everything that we've done.
Right.
Let's say Shad went off to do his own thing, right? Biggie, he's been hurt, he's been out. You've been seeing us go through all this turmoil week after week, month after month. And when we're finally at each other's throats, now you want to show up?
That's the thing. Whatever they're going to call themselves, if it's a new day, the new day, whatever it is, they're not wrong. And that's what I love.
Every villain story is rooted in something noble.
Now, when he said, okay, and you broke your neck, I was like, damn, it's fucked up. But
Mm-hmm.
they're not wrong. He's been on pre-shows. He's been around the WWE. You could have popped up at any point.
You've been here. Like, you've been here.
Low key, when the music went off, though, I thought it was gonna be Wale first because he's been integral in
Mm-hmm.
there. But he was not. They were not wrong. Here's the thing, though, because we discussed it. Is it gonna be a Kofi turn? Is it gonna be a Xavier turn? Can you take these two seriously as heels?
I can. The way that they turned on E
Hmm.
instantly, everybody in the crowd hates their guts.
Hates
Hell,
their guts. Yes,
I'm happy that it happened the way that it did because it was a different turn. I wasn't expecting it.
was not.
And storyline, now I hate their guts too. Like, yo, like you gonna do your mans like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you
And
could have
insert
called.
that picture of Kofi like this.
Yeah, you could have called. You could have. That was like, yo, don't let me work a whole work day and then fire me. Like, you could have told me this shit before I came in. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I hate your guts. Like, you like this man that came out. He done put on his suit. We talked about his suit. You know what I mean? He put on his suit. He came out there like, and we talked about him being a manager. We
We
talked
did.
about that last week.
We did.
Like, and I talked about it. I can't see him doing it because he's too big for them suits. He came out there like, yo, my nigga, like on their end, like you could have been our manager this entire time. Why you want to do it now when we're about to split and no longer be the New Day? Because it impacts you now too.
Right.
If we're no longer the New Day, you have nothing to come back to. Like you could have been here to make sure that we were going headed in the right direction to help us call the plays or whatever. But you watched us be in turmoil and beat each other's throats to now when we're about to dismantle the thing that made you relevant. Now you want to come back.
But the other side
Nah,
of it
nah.
is
Yeah.
sometimes you let brothers fight.
This
Play
is
devil's advocate.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
you
yeah.
let brothers fight, right? But when you talk about now's the time you come back, I want to just say something. Biggie's girlfriend, Meechin's sister,
Yo, she was cutting the fool on Twitter, baby.
on Twitter may have had an ether type comeback where she fried both of these guys.
Oh yeah. She said Kofi need to get in the gym and work on that bird chest. And then she talked about Xavier's
Bland food,
lackluster singles run.
that too. And I think it's somebody's bland food too.
Yeah.
But
Like,
like,
oh yeah, like the bland food being as bland as his singles run. Oh gosh. She was cooking.
I think that if this doesn't, let me do this. If this does not lead to a Big E return, was all this for nothing?
I think all the time they knew there was going to be a Big E return.
Okay.
And I think the Big E return is going to be different than what a lot of people think.
Mm,
The in-ring return.
don't
I
doubt you.
think
Send me that.
all right, so we got a couple minutes before we wrap before we got to put a bow in this shit and wrap it up. I think the Big E return is going to be like they were right. I wasn't there for my brothers. Now I'm going to be there for them. I think we get E going heel to show that he's still there for them. All right, whatever direction y'all are going in, I'm going to follow y'all. Like, I'm going to show that I'm there for y'all with my actions versus my words. So, like, they could be the ones to take the belts off of Judgment Day because of E coming out there and interfering and making sure that they win.
So I planted a seed earlier in this conversation. What did I tell you my name was?
Carrying Legend.
I saw something earlier that everybody that Karrion Kross has feuded with has lost their minds.
Mm-hmm.
If you look back at some of his feuds with,
Yep.
The Miz, The New Day, they've lost their mind. What if you got it Karrion Kross in Big E's ear? Because he didn't get Kofi. He didn't get Xavier. And they need help. So now
That'd be crazy.
you get somebody to help them against the Wyatt Six. And for helping us, we take care of them. It just hit me. Figured I'd throw that out there. That's why I planted the seed. Hit me before we started.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's so many ways it can go. But this was fun.
Yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe.
I really want to know how people see all of this going on. I mean, I know we really didn't get to dive into what's next for the bloodline outside of just, potential matches. But, we've got Jimmy potentially out. For how long? Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's a broken toe. He'll be
It's a
out for a
broken
couple
toe.
of weeks.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But, they do a lot of kicking. So,
Hey, I don't know, man. Hey, now he's a luchador now.
Facts. And with the injury to Big Bronson Reed, you got the return of what's his name? Names are escaping me today. He came back on Raw last night.
It's about Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. So now, who did that? Who attacked Jay? Is it Punk? Is it McIntyre? It's a whole bunch of stuff that we got to get into next episode.
Yeah, man. So it's this has been fun, man. Like what I mean, like if I had to say anything with the Terra Twins. So
which one am I?
I don't know. Shit. All right. Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's a dude and a chick. My bad.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna lift me up, make sure you can handle it.
Hey, we're dudes with attitude. How about that?
But you're not quiet enough to be decent. We'll figure it out.
All right. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Hey, tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Listen, no, where you can really find me, because we're trying to get up and running, is on Twitter, because I refuse to call it X, Kayfabe Cowboys. That's where you need to follow us. Like, comment, subscribe. I can never say that 3 times in a row. And do me a favor. When y'all see these clips, just share them. Put them, put a fire emoji in the comments for engagement. Share it to your stories. Every share counts. That's how we get the traction that we need to grow. The more we grow, the more people we can bring on. Like y'all enjoyed the last episode, we can bring other people on, and just make the show bigger than it already is.
Yeah. And also, we've been talking about the next episode is gonna be the year-end award special, where we talk about the best of the year that was, and we might put a poll up to decide. We'll let the fans decide one of our awards. So you know what I mean? It might be the People's Choice Award. I think that's what we might call that the People's Choice Award. Okay. And I think we might be bringing somebody else on for that award show. So stay tuned. You can find me at It's Zach Morris on Instagram and on Twitter, but you can also find me at Kayfabe Cowboys on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Brett Screw Brett. Die Rocky Die, all of that. You can find me everywhere where there's black wrestling fans. But anyway, man, this has been a pleasure. Hopefully we'll have Shadrick back next week. But until we see y'all again, man, you know what I'm saying? On the count of 3, we just got to make sure y'all kick out, man. And we out. 3, 2, 1. Peace.